Welcome into First Pitch for Monday, June 12th. I am Drew Martin, joined by Marco D'Angelo, Dwayne Bryant, and Tony Finn of WagerTalk.com. Guys, a reminder, it's $9 Monday, meaning all plays, all handicappers discounted to just $9. A bunch of free plays up as well, so great day to check out the website. That's WagerTalk.com. We got big game breakdown, best bets coming to you for the Monday slate here. Kind of short slate, but actually an interesting slate, intriguing slate with a lot of good handicapping your way. So we're going to start off with our leadoff hitter here, Marco D'Angelo, and his big game breakdown. Seeing the Miami Marlins, Marco, up in the Pacific Northwest here against the Seattle Mariners. Luzardo on the hill for the Fish, up against Miller here for Seattle. What are you looking to do here with Miami and Seattle tonight?
Well, Drew, Miami's playing their best baseball of the season. They've won 8 of the last 9 games, while Seattle's heading the other direction, just 2-6 the last 8. Seattle's returning home from a road trip. You know, I don't like that when teams return home. It was an 8-game road trip for them. Luzardo's on the mound for Miami, and he's been just great in his last 4 starts. He's allowed 1 run or less in 4 of his last 6 starts. Bryce Miller goes for Seattle, and after starting out the season well, he has got lit up in his last 2 starts. He's given up 15 runs in just 7 innings of work, 2 short outings for him the last 2 trips. Other thing to look at in this one, Miami has just been amazing this year in interleague play. Part of that might have to do with teams that aren't necessarily geographically close to Miami playing in interleague games. They're 15-3 this season in interleague play. And whenever Luzardo starts at night, the Marlins are a perfect 8-0 this season. Now, am I going to go with this one for the full game? I could. I don't have a problem with that. But I think the better play is go starting pitcher versus starting pitcher and make this a first 5-inning wager. I'm going to go ahead and take Miami in this one, plus the small price, first 5 innings.
Jumping on my Fish. I like it in the first 5 from Marco D'Angelo, and Miller for Seattle. He struggled his last 7 innings, just giving up 15 earned runs. So maybe that Fish lineup that hasn't been all that great can put up a couple crooked numbers there. Marco D'Angelo, guys, a reminder, he's 4% NBA play up at WagerTalk.com. Of course, discounted to just $9, and he's 8-3. That's 73% run on those 4% plays. So he's seeing it well in 38-21. A little bit longer term there. Going to want to check that out. Marco D'Angelo, 4% play up for tonight in the NBA. We got Dwayne Bryant batting in the 2-hole here. And Dwayne, I'm seeing the San Francisco Giants at the St. Louis Cardinals here. A little Redbirds action. What are you looking to do with San Francisco and St. Louis tonight?
Yeah, we've got Logan Webb and Matthew Liberatore starting in this one. Webb's off a poor start, but that was a Coors Field. I mean, that thin air has a way of ruining many a pitcher's day, so I'm not too concerned with that. Webb's been a good road favorite in his career, especially against sub-500 teams like the Cardinals. San Francisco's 8-4 with Webb as a road favorite against sub-500 opponents in his career. And then on the other side, Liberatore, he should have an early edge in this game. I mean, these San Francisco hitters have never faced him. It's normally tough on hitters the first time they face a guy, especially when that guy's a lefty like Liberatore. And if you're looking at the season numbers, the Giants have struggled against left-handed pitching, but not so much so recently. If you just look at their last 2 weeks, San Francisco owns a 134 WRC plus against left-handed pitching. That's 34% above average. But again, they're facing Liberatore for the first time. And in 3 career home starts for St. Louis, Liberatore's yet to allow a run. He's allowed some runs at home in a relief role, but the 3 home starts put up a goose egg in all 3 of them. His home road splits in his young career clearly show that he pitches way better here at home. And as for the Cards, note that since May 15th, St. Louis is 5-1 in home night games against a right-handed starter. Average line was minus 138. They won by an average score of 6-2.7. But I'm actually leaning to the first 5 under 4.5. I believe that was minus 120 the last I looked. I like that Webb's in a bounce back spot here. I like the fact that San Francisco has never faced Liberatore, so he should be putting up some goose eggs early in this game. I haven't bet it yet. I want to see who's going to be behind the plate. As long as it's not an ump with a history of heavily favoring the hitters, I'm likely going to step in here later and take that first 5 under 4.5.
All right, Dwayne Bryant there, WagerTalk.com. We got the chat box chiming in here. Box saying kind of confused why money has not come in on the Giants. I thought Dwayne brought up a couple reasons there in his analysis why maybe look the other way, guys. So feel free to chime in here on the live chat box, WagerTalk YouTube. We're going 2 o'clock Eastern time here for first pitch. Welcome in Brian S. Holly as well. He's saying Red Sox run line drew tonight. The Red Sox, that Sunday night fade, they're coming back home. Maybe watch out for that. Big plus price on the Rockies there. But hey, if you're betting the Red Sox tonight, Holly, best of luck to you. We got Tony Finn up next here. Big game breakdown. Philadelphia and Arizona here. I'm seeing Mr. Finn. A little competitively priced game. What are you looking to do with the D-backs and Phillies tonight?
Well, I like this game. While what I've heard and who I spoke to this morning, even what I've read, most disagree with me, at least to some degree, and that's the Phillies are at Chase in Arizona. It's warm down here a little bit. It's not, I think I haven't seen. Let's put it this way: I haven't seen a commitment to the roof being closed yet, but I'm going to say it's going to be closed in Arizona tonight. Could be wrong, but I like the Phillies. I like the opener they have, despite the fact that their bullpen is easily nothing to write home about. Let's put it that way. The Pen has, I think, a 4.09 ERA, right in line with their FIP, I think 4.14. But Kimbrel, Alvarado, Sir Anthony, Greg Soto all worked yesterday. All of them could work tonight. The Philly hasn't really committed to who's going to catch the bulk behind Strom, but I like Strom. Listen, his outing against the Dodgers last time out, just a one-inning relief appearance, wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't all. The line looks like he was beat up, 2 runs in 1 inning, et cetera, et cetera. It was a home run hit in a game that the Phillies still won. It's Henry that I'm playing against mostly in this game, and now Arizona team I think that have played above their skill set. Listen, this team's a good team right now. All things equal, you look at their lines. The eye test is good, and they're getting some pitching. Save Gallen yesterday, who really scuffled against a bad offense in Detroit, new Tiger Stadium. But back to stay on point here. Anytime you give me a pitch to contact southpaw that Henry is against this Philly lineup, even though they're not a terrific offense against left-handed. I mean, the dichotomy between their left, or at least overall OPS offensively, isn't that big. And this Phillies team hasn't played really well, guys, this year. I mean, they're not a very good defensive team, and they've hit some bumps in the road because of that defense. However, I think Arizona starts backing up a little bit. At least somewhat to their projections, and Philly speeds up a little bit and doesn't. I don't think they're going to catch. I don't think there's any way possible they're going to catch Atlanta this year. I really don't believe that. And the Mets haven't been doing much. They're injury prone and can't hit every other day. So, but I do expect Phillies to do what they did last year too, and that's make a late run. And I expect them to play well tonight in Arizona. I like Strom. I like the opener skit here tonight. The Phillies with the Pen against an Arizona team I think is overvalued.
Like the breakdown there, Tony, and you brought up it being in Arizona, a little hot, and the roof. Is that something you factor big time into your handicapping if the roof is opened or closed, and which way does it push you? Either direction.
Well, it pushes when at least my charts and the metrics are mixed if you look. But to your question, the ball travels a little better when the roof's open at Chase. So as it is in most domes, at least most retractable roofs. So in that case, listen, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all if the roof was open tonight. I think that anytime you get a lefty that pitches to contact against this Philly team, I think against the Schramm and against the Philly bullpen, who if they're commanding their arsenal, they're not pitching to contact. So that said, let it happen. Katie, bar the door. Let the roof be open. I'll even like it more.
And is it something you notice with Arizona games that they actually open the roof? Because I'm down here in South Florida and I've gone to Marlins games and they say it's a retractable roof, but I swear that it's
Yeah.
broken or something because you never really have to check. It's always closed at Marlins games, almost always anyway. Do they actually
Yeah.
open it in Arizona?
Absolutely, they do, and in Florida they use it. I think that they do it for several reasons. One, I think this is a team that pitches better than they hit, and again, as I just outlined, I think the ball travels better when the roof's open. And that said, there's always a chance to rain in Florida, right? So close.
Okay, Tony Finn and the people's champion here. We have Vegas Degen in the house saying Tony Tequila Finn, Tijuana Tony, a man of many names. He goes by both. We tried to get him to put out some Mexican baseball plays here on First Pitch, but he hasn't done it yet this season. Maybe next week we'll get him to do some. And Kylie in the house, he's using his girlfriend's ID here, Holly. So hey, however you're joining us, you need to use your girlfriend's log in. That works for us. We don't mind. And City by the Bay, a VIP as well. Appreciate everybody joining us live. And it is time for Best Bets. So if you're liking the content, please smash the like button. And again, guys, if you're watching on replay, feel free to reply below. Let us know what you're looking to bet tonight, where you agree, where you disagree. Hey, if you got $100, which best bet you like, let us know in the reply section, guys. We're going back over to our leadoff hitter here, Marco D'Angelo. And a reminder here, guys, it's $9 Monday, WagerTalk.com. He's got a 4% big bet here. He's 8-3, 73% run on those 4%, and a little bit longer term, 38-21. So he's seeing it well here on the hardwood and on the diamond. Marco, I'll throw it over to you, man, for any final thoughts for the show. And I'm seeing the Tampa Bay Rays and the Oakland Athletics here. I know you were pointing towards the Marlins. Are you doing a little Sunshine State two-step here and going on the Rays as well?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing here. And hey, but look at my Las Vegas A's. A little bit too quick there, but they've won 5 in a row, but it's all come on the road. And it's come against the Pirates, who were coming off of a big series sweep of St. Louis. And then they caught a Milwaukee club that just wasn't hitting the baseball. I know Milwaukee put up 6 runs yesterday, but they only put up 6 runs in in their previous 3 games to that. So they caught a couple teams at the right time. But now reality sets in. And boy, can you get any more dose of reality? If it's not the fact that you're playing the best team in baseball in the Rays, the reality is you're back home in Oakland. Okay, that's about as much of reality as any team can get. You'll be looking at a lot of empty seats. I don't care that they have a 5-game winning streak. Nobody's coming to see the A's unless they want to see the Rays, a team they don't get to see that often. That could be one reason. But I'm looking at a team that is hot with the Rays. They've got a pitcher on the mound, Zach Eflin, who is just absolutely dealing it right now. Just 7 runs in his last 4 starts. That's 26 plus innings of work, and he's given up just 7 runs. He's going to be facing James Caprillion, who is just not pitching well this year. At home, his ERA is 7.46. His whip is 1.69. You do not want to be putting that many base runners on base every inning against this Tampa lineup. They will make you pay for it. Stat on Tampa, 31-5 is a favorite this year of 150 or more. Now, I'm not going to lay 235 range that we're looking at this game. I'm going to try to bring that price down. By bringing the price down, I'm going to look at laying a run and a half, and I'm going to go the full game in this one. Why? Well, that 31-5 stat I told you, they're winning those games by an average of 2.3 runs per game. Taking a road team laying the 1.5 runs, you're getting all 9 at bats, and you're getting full at bats. When you're on the road, it's till you get that third out in the 9th inning. A lot of times, if you take a team laying 1.5 at home, you don't get that 9th inning at bat. Or if you do have that 9th inning at bat, you're not in a good spot. You're either down runs or you're tie, and you just scratch across the run and you win and don't cover the run line. So I don't have a problem laying 1.5 full game on the road. I don't have trouble laying the half run 5 innings because I know I'm getting the first, it's even. You're getting full 5 at bats. So that's how I attack when I'm using run line. So go for Tampa, get this down to around 160 on it, minus the 1.5. And I think it's an outstanding play. It's a high number, but honestly, my math says it should be higher with the way Tampa is playing this season.
Sure, I like it, Marco. And guys, it's a little best versus worst. By the record, you are what your record says you are, and that is the best team, Tampa Bay Rays, versus the worst team, Oakland Athletics. So I like it, Marco. Looking towards the Rays, minus the run line. And speaking of the Sunshine State two-step, I'm on the Miami Marlins here, guys. Plus 115. That's what I released it at for my free play at WagerTalk.com. Looks like a 10-cent move here. It's just down to plus 105. So risk 100 to win 105. Some of that move is my money here. And we're on the Marlins, winners of 8 of their last 9 and 12 of their last 15 games. And Marco touched on it earlier in the show in his big game breakdown. Luzardo on the hill. He already has 86 strikeouts on the season. And Miller going for the Mariners. A young guy started out hot, but then his last couple starts, he's given up 15 earned runs in his last 7 innings. And sometimes with these young pitchers, they get off to a hot start, then the video gets out, maybe they're tipping some of their pitches, something like that, whatever the case may be. I like to kind of fade that when that happens. And sure enough, we get this situation tonight. And last thing with the situation, we get the Seattle Mariners returning home off of a 3-city road trip from Texas to San Diego to Los Angeles, now back to Seattle. Like to fade that situation as well. First game home off the 3-city road trip, putting us on the Marlins plus 105 here. I did list Luzardo as the starter. So we'll head down here to Dwayne Bryant. Dwayne, I'm seeing the Cincinnati Reds and the Kansas City Royals. So we got the Oakland Athletics, and now we're talking the Kansas City Royals here. Of course, the worst 2 teams by the record. What are you looking to do here with the Reds, and the Royals?
Only the best here on first pitch, Drew. I'm on the total here, but I got to say, I really like this Reds team, especially of late. I like that they don't rely on homers to score. They're great at getting on base. They're great at stealing bases, and they don't strike out much. They've been playing well since they called up that lefty Andrew Abbott and Ellie De La Cruz. He sparked that lineup. They took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, I believe, and I believe they took 2 out of 3 in St. Louis. I'm close to taking them today, but I haven't yet. But what I did play, and I gave out to my subscribers this morning, is a 4% play on the first 5 innings under 5. It was minus 120 at that point. It has since gone to minus 125. And when I looked over an hour ago, I saw some 4.5s popping up. I'd still play it at 4.5, but probably only for 3%. I like that both starting pitchers are in a bounce back spot today. Luke Weaver got torched for 7 runs in just 3 2/3 innings against the Dodgers in his last start. But plenty of guys get lit up by the Dodgers. It's not like Weaver just got shelled by Kansas City. And speaking of Kansas City, the Royals are tied with Detroit for MLB's worst WRC plus against right-handed pitching at 78, which is 22% below average. So this is a lineup that Weaver should be able to handle. On the other side, Zach Greinke is also in a bounce-back spot today. Greinke gave up 5 runs in just 4 1/3 innings in Miami against the Marlins in his last start. To me, that start wasn't as bad as it sounds, though. Greinke held Miami hitless for 4 innings, and then things just completely fell apart in the 5th. Greinke has more trouble against power-hitting teams. The Reds own the 3rd fewest homers against right-handed pitching, and the 2 teams with less homers against right-handed pitching, being the Nationals and the Guardians, they each have fewer plate appearances against righties than the Reds. Bottom line for me here is it's going to take 6 runs to beat us if you get this at 5. I don't think Greinke gives up more than 2 runs through 5 innings. If Weaver can hold this weak Kansas City lineup to 3 runs or less through 5 innings, we should cash this or push it at worst. So, like I said, I gave it out this morning, 4%, first 5 innings under 5 at minus 120.
Dwayne Bryant. WagerTalk.com. Looking at the chat box here before we get to two more best bets, the Gold Sheet and Tony Finn here. We got Dustin S saying, do you guys look at player prop for plays? Yeah, actually, the Gold Sheet's best bet is a player prop here, Dustin. So we'll get to that in a second. Seattle's Miller is up for 2.5 earned runs with juice to the under. Any thoughts? I mean, my initial thoughts, and Marco touched on it as well, would be towards the over. So get that plus price if you can. It correlates with kind of the fish tonight. And Miller has struggled his last two starts. Again, 15 earned runs in his last 7 innings. So that's the way I would look with that one. Thanks for the question here. And Fortnite chiming in, Tuesday night, the fans are going to have a counter protest in Oakland where they will actually show up to the game. So there might actually be some energy at the Coliseum tomorrow night. I don't know, Fortnite. I appreciate the info. I guess that helps out, and maybe something to watch out for. Counter protests. Haven't heard of that very often, but there might actually be fans at the Oakland game. So appreciate everybody chiming in here, guys, and helping out find some winners on first pitch again, 2:00 Eastern time on Fridays. Looking at the Gold Sheet, best bet up next. Speaking of player props, Duran for Texas. We're going over 1.5 his runs, hits, and RBIs versus the LA Angels tonight. It's a minus 110 price tag here. Duran is hitting 333 with a 404 on base percentage versus lefties. So handedness of pitcher, he's really smashed lefties. Duran has hit the mark in 8 of his last 12 games. And Tyler Anderson has over a 5.6 ERA with a 1.60 whip this season. So he's really struggled. He's a lefty as well. And Duran has smashed lefties. So over 1.5 runs, hits, RBIs versus the Angels tonight for Duran on Texas. Minus 110 price tag. Check out the Gold Sheet, goldsheet.com. Trends, angles, it is all there. Written detailed analysis as well. So we'll go to our three-hole hitter here, Tony Finn, Tijuana Tony Tequila Finn, however we're calling him. I'm seeing the Cincinnati Reds, Kansas City Royals again, Tony, with the pitchers listed. So what do we got here for best bet?
Well, I was listening to my esteemed colleague about outlining the Royals, outlining the Reds, spot on. The one aberration, the one outlier for Kansas City is it's a young team, free swinging team. You probably if you met somebody at the bar and you're watching a baseball game, most people couldn't even name 6, 7, or 2 or 3 Kansas City Royals players other than Perez maybe and Witt that are household names. But Luke Weaver, Zach Greinke, not very long ago, you guys remember they were teammates for a short period of time down in Arizona, the Diamondbacks 2019. Tonight they square off, and it's an interesting matchup to say the least. Really, both pitchers have gradually gotten a little better as the weather's warmed. Greinke especially was giving up the long ball. Was most of his pitches were up. Didn't have any at all. His rotation was poor, and he's not going to be the Greinke of old. He's not even going to be the Greinke of average for the most part, but he can be good. Greinke good, and his 4.5 ERA, 4.737 FIP in over 67 innings, 13 starts is nothing. Again, I've said already today, to write home about, but he limits walks and. He's not giving up more than 1 home run his last at least all his May starts and heading into June. And it's May that it was real good. He's been fairly good. He's still pitching to contact. He's going to pitch to contact. But this is a Reds team that has only two player personnel that have ever seen Greinke live. That gives Greinke a huge advantage because of the differentials and the dichotomy of his pitches speed and the fact that he's a guy that one of the only few guys I know that can get up there and throw a 55, 60 mile an hour curveball and lace it in there for a strike. I mean, it's over the head. They're like the real difference maker here is only 3 teams hit the ball harder, have a harder contact rate offensively than the Royals, believe it or not. Their problem is scoring or bringing home runners that are in scoring positions or bunching hits or cluster luck. Call it what you will. But if there's a guy that can do. It's Weaver, who allowed 55% hard contact overall in April. He's improved that with a 41-42% in April and May, which has brought it down. But Weaver's pitching the hard contact. He's done a better job of increasing his swings and misses, but he's only still 11% swing and miss guy, which is not very good. It's not very good. Got two guys pitching to contact tonight. Who do you trust? Do you trust the team that has a terrific hard contact percentage? Hard contact. Can't see fourth behind like Tampa Bay, Atlanta, Dodgers. That's where they're sitting in that kind of a hard contact range. They're going to make some hard contact with Weaver. I don't see Cincinnati making much hard contact against Greinke. He's not going to strike out. He might strike out 5. That would be a good day for Greinke. But I'll take Kansas City at home at the K with a hard contact. It's only going to take 1 or 2 hard contacts to hit a gap or clear the fence and hit I-70 for the Royals to come out on top here. Give me the Royals and Greinke at a pick 'em price, essentially -110.
Tijuana, Tony, what jersey are we rocking today, man?
We're rocking the Met. It's a Mets jersey. It's an old jersey, and I have 100 jerseys. But I go on and I buy the players that either have been traded, retired, cut, you name it, and so I get a really good price on these official MLB jerseys. Right,
Okay.
Jose Reyes. Mets.
Well, Jose Reyes jersey. Little Metropolitans there from Tony Finn.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff, man. Like the best bet as well. We got the Gold Sheet best bet. In recap here, guys, Marlins +105. That's my best bet. And a little Sunshine State two-step here as we got the Tampa Bay Rays minus the run line -160 for Marco D'Angelo. That's taking some money throughout the day. Dwayne Bryant, Cincinnati Reds, Kansas City Royals. First 5 under 5 minus the $1.25. Tony Finn, you just heard it there. Kansas City Royals, the ageless one, Zach Greinke on the hill, near pick'em price tag in the Gold Sheet. Duran, the runs, hits, and RBIs over 1.5 for the Texas Rangers. So that's going to do it for the show, guys. $9 Monday, WagerTalk.com. Marco D'Angelo with that 4% NBA play, 8-3, 73% run, 38-21. A little bit longer term. Dwayne Bryant and Tony Finn as well in with $9 plays. Free plays up as well, guys. So for Marco D'Angelo, Dwayne Bryant, Tony Finn, I am Drew Martin. See a couple more questions here in the chat box, guys. I'll send them to the analysts on tomorrow's show, and we'll answer them for the show, a little question and answer. So feel free to reply any more in the reply section. We'll hit it on tomorrow's show as well. So thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button, cash those tickets. We'll be back tomorrow.